Middle, spins right, slips two defenders, and then scores midair. Gets around Weed, off the bounce, shot, and a score. Wow.
They on the move.
Near side, sets up a shot and a score for Miller. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way. He's going to fire and score. Who's the man? Spellman's the man. That's who. Shot, score. It's hat trick time for Mike Durkin.
For the steps, line comes over.
Shot, score.
One-on-one with Hall.
There he is. There's the pass, there's the score, and there's the win. Up top, Druin. He wants a shot, and he's got it! Wow!
Kerkorian behind the cage.
It's a dash to his right, wraps it around for the goal. Hale gets inside, shot, and score for the victory. Chase, extra feed, shot, score, game over!
Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Bedford. Nick Anastas, along with Roger Howe, Corey Munstentiger, getting set for the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament quarterfinal matchup between the Bedford Bulldogs and the Souhegan Sabres. The winner advances to the semifinal, where they will face Bishop Girton, two neighboring towns. Going head-to-head for the third time, the Bulldogs took the two regular season meetings, one in blowout fashion and one in overtime. So who knows what round three may bring. We saw Souhegan in action just 2 days ago, Roger. Handle conquered. That final was 15-9, a strong second half led by the goaltender, and a balanced effort on the attack side of things as well. So Souhegan, after just their third victory this spring, coming in with a little bit of momentum into Bedford's home turf as the Bulldogs look to return to another Final Four.
Yeah, it was a surprising finish after that first quarter, being as even a game as it was, but they clearly broke away from Concord. They found their footing out there with their captains, Riley Lawhorn, Alex Karpowicz had an excellent game. And this is going to be a good matchup today because, as we mentioned as we parted that game on Thursday, that's a team that Keith Bertrand had them ready for, and this is one of the areas where they really like to play because it's turf very similar to their own, and they'll be up for this game.
And, of course, Corey, you've seen the Bulldogs really all season long. Seem to play well when the moment is big, especially here on their home turf. A lot of seniors amongst this group hoping to extend their careers with a victory. What's the mentality here as a former player yourself going into potentially a do-or-die, maybe last game of these seniors' career?
Like you just said, it's do or die, right? These guys have to put it all out on the field. They have to make sure they make the right plays, the smart plays, make the easy pass, look for the open guy, and most importantly, stay out of the penalty box. That's going to be a key today. As long as they can keep 6-on-6 action, they should have a good shot here today against the Sabres.
And what about, on top of all that, graduation this morning
earlier today
at
exactly.
Bedford High School? A lot of them coming back over here to the field after ceremonies took part earlier today. Again, guys, as former players, how do you separate all that stuff, put that aside, and then get ready for the game? Got to be challenging, right?
Yeah, I think that today, being as hot as it was down there on the field, and having such little recuperation time between being out on the field, I understand that the seniors were not, or that none of the graduates today were allowed to bring any water with them. They were provided water on the field that was warm, it was nasty, it was Dasani, it was everything you don't want to see for an athlete to prep for a game of this importance or of any type of game. And now they have to turn around 4 hours later, and not even 4 hours. I mean, most of the people cleared out of here at 1 o'clock, and now you got to go and play a game. I mean, I hope these guys went home and took a nice cold bath and then hydrated and then hopefully took a little bit of a nap. I mean, this heat takes so much out of you. Never mind that both teams are going to be dealing with that, but I don't know. What do you think, Corey?
I agree with you. I hope that they're seeing these as two very separate events. You know, of course, it's excitement of the graduation, but as you were mentioning, you have to go home and take care of yourself. You have to get some food. You have to get some water in you. You have to take care of your body to make sure that you're ready for the second event of the day. And it'll be a little bit of a mental drain from the morning, but as long as they can lock it in for this afternoon, they should be able to put themselves in good position.
Seemed like a thinly disguised shot at Dasani slipped in there from Roger as well.
If you're going to have water, it's got to be like Poland Spring, at least come out of the ground, not this purified stuff.
All right, let's take a look at the bracket again. Action already statewide in the D1 preliminary round. Of course, this quarterfinal round kicked off this morning, a 10 a.m. start with Londonderry and Pinkerton getting together. In Londonderry, the Astros advanced to the Final Four with a 9-4 victory. A little different this year. As we know, it's an open tournament concept. Luck of the draw in a lot of cases in terms of who's playing who and such. The traditional rules, I guess, are suspended for this year as 4 different regions. Region 1 will play the winner of Region 3. Region 2 will play the winner of Region 4 in Tuesday's semifinal, all leading up, of course, to the championship round, which will be held here in Bedford on potentially a neutral site next Saturday. So a week from today will be the championship round. So Pinkerton, a win from earlier. Dover, they were in a battle with Exeter, an ongoing battle as far as we knew. That was a 2 o'clock game that faced off, and well, Exeter rolled in the end 16-3. So the Blue Hawks and the Astros will meet on one half of that Final Four bracket. No problem for undefeated Bishop Girton either. As you can see there, the Cardinals 23-1 in round number 1 against Nashua North. They dispatched Nashua South this afternoon, 18-4. So it'll be Pinkerton and Exeter on one side. BG awaits the winner of this game between Bedford and Souhegan. All right, let's get some keys to the contest. Roger, we'll start with you. Give me some things that need to happen both for Souhegan and Bedford this afternoon.
Well, I think both face-off midfielders are pretty evenly matched. We've seen the Souhegan Fogo and the Bedford Fogo quite a bit this year. That could be a neutral battle right there. Bedford Bulldogs have to stop Riley Lawhorn and Karpowicz, and the Bedford Bulldog attack has to dominate against the Souhegan defense. That's the way I see it.
Anything else, Corey?
Yeah, just 2 things that I would add, and one I already touched on. Stay out of the penalty box. You know, as long as you can keep 6-on-6 lacrosse, either team is going to have the best shot at it. And then the second thing, both teams need to really focus on clearing and riding. When you make that defensive stop and you get that ball in your possession, really care for the ball. If you're on the attack side, if you lose that ball or maybe you don't chase the ball out of bounds, make sure you're riding like heck to try to get that ball back in your possession.
It is hot outside for sure as summer has arrived in full force. Temperatures in the mid to low 90s, even hotter down here on the turf field. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move forward. The starting lineup's being introduced to this growing crowd, a crowd which has once again been restored to 100% capacity, no masks, no social distancing, and a student section, at least on the Bedford side, the home side. So all this leading up to the 5 o'clock Eastern face-off, and we'll have that for you when we come back. You are watching the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament quarterfinal round here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. It's in conjunction with the NFHS, broadcasting as well through our friends at BCTV and ETV in Nashua as well. It's all, of course, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Well, there it is, the national anthem. Well done here at Bedford High School. We appreciate Athletic Director Corey Parker, Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, Corey Munstentiger here in Bedford. Final quarterfinal round game of the day in Division I. The fourth and final ticket to Tuesday's Final Four up for grabs. Souhegan looking to ride some momentum. They took care of business against Concord back on Thursday in the preliminary round, while Bedford got a day of rest due to a luck of the draw bye. Hot down on the field, as we talked about. Souhegan, the first to break the huddle and come onto the field. They're in their road blacks, while Bedford, the home team, the higher seed, in their home whites. We are broadcasting in conjunction tonight with the NFHS, as we will throughout the remainder of this tournament. And, of course, simulcasting on BCTV, Channel 23 HD, Channel 1 or 1072 in Bedford, and also on ETV in Nashua. So all over the map here as we get set for some lacrosse. Again, round 3, third meeting of the season between these two teams, Bedford capturing the first 2 early in the regular season. Our officials, Tyler Leeds and Dennis Mallinson. And a vocal crowd as well that continues to fill out here in Bedford. Face-off between Garant and the Bulldogs. Owen Roberto goes Bedford's way. And the Bulldog attack will have a first chance here as they settle in on the far side. Souhegan in a man-to-man in the discussion. The goaltender is Nathan Fritz, 13 saves against Concord. Big part of that big second half for the Sabres back on Thursday. Trying to direct some traffic here to begin. Bulldogs in no apparent hurry as they feel things out here. And Roger, we've talked all season long about how important it is to kind of settle in. And there's the shot.
Yes, we have.
They were looking for. That's by the Colby College commit Connor Abusto. dealt with some injuries this season, but the senior found the angle, saw the shot he liked, and capitalized.
Yeah, sorry for getting. I saw that coming just as you were passing that on to me, and
Right.
and I couldn't help myself. But yes, they started off in a circle offense there, just trying to feel it out, and then go into some sort of motion. And hey, Arbusto does that all season long. He just finds the opening and he takes advantage.
Yeah, zone defense there, too, for the Sabres. I'm not sure how long Coach Bertrand's going to want to stay in that if they keep sniping from the outside.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that, Corey, because we brought that up in the broadcast the other day where Concord did not go into zone, and they usually do.
Yeah, I have a feeling we may see a few different looks before it's all said and done from longtime Souhegan head coach Keith Bertrand. Bedford with the clear. They go 2 for 2 to open the game at the face-off X. And with just over a minute gone by, looking to build on a 1-0 lead. Arbusto's goal is also the first shot taken by Bedford. Here's the second. Goes wide and out of play. Big wind-up there for the Bulldogs. Magnus Steele, multi-sport athlete, junior midfielder. Pretty good shot.
Great lacrosse name, too. I mean, come on.
There's a pass from Steele, though, that gets away from the intended target on the far side. It's a routine pass looking for Owen Christopher. Ends up out of bounds, and the Bulldogs turn it over.
You can't have that happen this early in the game. You don't want to be racking up the unforced errors.
Quick clear against the token pressure by Connor Holland. Senior midfielder is going to jog to a stop, go to Lawhorn, back to Holland, looking to go middle. Bedford opening up in what looks like a man-to-man. Lawhorn's shot goes off the crossbar. Second try is stopped low by the Bedford goaltender, Matt Desmond. Desmond able to drop to his knees to close down the 5-hole. 2 quick shots by the Sabres turned away. Bedford gets the clear with Christopher. Christopher goes middle. Second pass broken up. That's Sam Stevenson came over to get a piece of the ball. And now Bedford will restart things here with just over 2 minutes gone by first quarter.
Yeah, Desmond got a little help from his friend, the crossbar, and then made a nice 5-hole save. Like you said, Nick, good defensive stand there.
He's been really good low this year, hasn't he, Corey?
Gets down on him pretty quickly.
Meanwhile, Arbusto, jab step.
So we have a face guard here. So number 23, Sam Stevenson, is face guarding Max Maniello, a senior midfielder for the Bulldogs. And they're drawing him out. So they'll play 5-on-5 lacrosse the rest of the way here with a zone defense for the Sabres.
Nick Greer stepped in the circle there. Violation turns it over to Souhegan. Plenty of Sabre fans made the trip over from next door in Amherst. Parked right below us here at the press box. Pretty good clear by Garant. And now Garant trying to shake off Joe Michael, the defender. They're swinging near side. This is Lawhorn, the UMass Lowell commit.
Good check by Enners.
Enners plays him tough.
Steers him back out across the 30. He'll get rid of it. Near side. Touch for Cole Manning. He was instrumental in that win over Concord back on Thursday. Manning ended up with 3 goals. And as we know, just a freshman.
Yeah, him and Will Boyle were the connection in that game.
There's a 4 shot that's going to end up wide.
Yeah, Boyle had 3 assists in that game, all on Manning's goals, which Manning, like you said, had 3.
Here is Boyle. Nearly lost his balance. Throws a wild pass across the zone. Manning going to try to hustle to keep it in play. Instead, it's out of bounds back over to Bedford. So a couple of giveaways each way through the first 4 minutes. Bedford with a 1-0 lead off a Connor Arbusto goal.
That's what we said at the top of the broadcast, Nick, just taking care of that lacrosse ball. You get it in your stick, you want to make sure that you get good possessions, that you clear it in an efficient fashion. Look for cutters through the midfielder area. Get into your attacks and make the substitutions through the box and get into 6-on-6 lacrosse. Looks like Souhegan has bounced to a man-to-man defense now.
Coach Bertrand continuing to mix things up. Here's another pass off target and turned over. Evan Schmidt couldn't reel that one in. So just unforced errors here.
Yeah, sure. Sloppy pass, too. I mean, you got to make that a little bit shorter, take a couple steps to him, make sure that you get your hands free and that you're making a solid pass where your teammate can catch it easily.
Bouvier gets rid of it. Connor with the clear, and again the Souhegan fans applaud. Sabres looking to tie the game. Nearly 5 minutes now in first quarter. Holland over to Lawhorn. They want that one-on-one. Draws the slide. Pass gets away from Garant. That sends Boyle into the corner. He cannot quite scoop it. Trying to fight off now the long pole for Bedford, Brady Burke. Burke trying to force him out and does. Good piece of defense there. Bedford gets it back. Burke now going to come along the near sideline.
Nice clear.
Good catch by Beaton right there. At his knees, that's not necessarily the easiest catch, but he did a nice job of getting that stick on it.
There's Josh Beaton, the midfielder. He'll head back to the Bedford sideline. Steele took a look at the cage for a moment.
Nice
pass for a cutter. Arbusto knocked down, and the flag flies. It's the game's first penalty. Meanwhile, scooping and scoring is Derek Greer along the near side for Bedford. The junior attack just kept playing and found a way to beat Fritz for the second Bedford goal as we come up on the midway point of this first quarter.
That penalty's going to stick, too. That's a personal. He should be getting a cross-check on this. What's your call, Corey?
I'm just looking at the shoulder bump across the field and chuckling. Yeah, I'm thinking either push from behind, which would be a 30-second technical wiped out by the goal, or, like you said, a cross-check from behind. That would be a personal 1 minute. It looked like he waved his hand over his head, so that might be wiped out.
Yeah, I saw Davidson, number 2, the defender that was the infracting player there, and he came right over to the bench.
Yeah, I think they're picking the flag up. There's nobody in the penalty box, but I think Bedford will take it 2-0
and
with now 6 minutes gone.
Greer with a crafty play there, snuck in for the GB or ground ball, fired it low as the goalie was screened out there, and Nate Fritz just couldn't see the ball or where it was coming from, and Greer was able to capitalize.
Meanwhile, timeout on the field as Coach Bertrand wants to address the troops, not the start Souhegan was hoping for. Reminder, we're not done when this one's done. Doubleheader Saturday, we go to the girls' side. We stay here in Bedford for Bedford and BG. That's a 7:30 start. Girls semifinal in Division I. Huge game between the Cardinals and Bulldogs. Chris Cameron will join me in the booth for that one. Again, that comes your way on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance at 7:30. Tomorrow morning, we get cooking again bright and early, 9 a.m. with the FNL NH Lacrosse Show. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Coach Cameron will be back in studio there as well. Full Final Four preview. A tournament recaps, plural, as we dive in. Boys, girls, D1, 2, and 3. That's all tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll have exclusive interviews along with the recaps, of course, as well. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, Corey Munstentiger here in Bedford. Bulldogs getting the start they want, guys, out 2-0 midway through the first quarter.
Yeah, this is how the game started on Thursday. It was a low-scoring affair, as we saw towards the end of it. But it did take both teams in that Thursday night game to get their offense in check, and we're seeing that again.
This very well could easily be a 2-1 game as the Sabres, Riley Lawhorn, stung the crossbar earlier in the first.
Yeah, he rattled the cage with that shot. An inch or so the other way, and Souhegan would have been on the board. Instead, the Souhegan loses the face-off, but the Sabre defense forces another Bedford giveaway. And here's another clear for Connor Holland, the Souhegan senior captain, midfielder trying to shake off the pesky long pole defender Quinlan Kerr. Now Lawhorn draws a slide, pass behind the cage, dropped by the freshman Manning.
Nice.
Burke shoved him off the path and assures possession for the home team on a good play. However, outlet pass knocked down by Boyle here on the near side. And Boyle, the senior, will recover. Pass across. Here's Karpowicz, the big-bodied senior, trying to battle through two players, forced the shot there. Foot race goes to Manning and stays again with Souhegan.
Yeah, they're definitely quick sliding to Riley on his dodges, and it seems to be working so far.
Meanwhile, Burke all over Manning here. Freshman goes upstairs. Holland going to pull it out. Now Lawhorn will survey. Souhegan trying to get on the board and cut this Bedford lead in half. Karpowicz spin, shoot, and score. Got it over the top of Bedford's Parker Henry Sean, despite pretty good defense.
He was there. He was trying to force him down towards the goal line, extended to his right hand. Karpowicz is offhand, but Karpowicz was strong enough to get back high side, pulled the trigger lefty, and found the cage.
Yeah, this is what we said the other day in the Souhegan game, Corey. Karpowicz kind of faded out of the offense about halfway through that game, and then his size and his strength just can't be denied, and they need to use him much more, especially with the quick slides to Riley Lawhorn.
Souhegan will win their first face-off on a technicality and look to tie the game. So Alex Karpowicz, instrumental in that game. As we talked about Thursday, the quarterfinal win over Concord. Missed the shot a moment ago despite the effort. It was double team. This time, one-on-one with Henry Sean goes upstairs. And now Souhegan getting, I guess, game time instruction from the sideline. Lawhorn going to backpedal here along the near wing. Keeping him at bay in the one-on-one situation as Will enters. Enters, pokes it loose. And it's Michael who comes up with the ground ball for Bedford. The Bulldog Jr. across midfield takes a shove from Lawhorn. Bounce pass near side for Greer. The trailer comes down the middle, and it's set aside by Fritz. Second drive for Michael. Lost it, took a shot. Picked up on the far side by a backpedaling Connor Holland. Frees up now Lawhorn at midfield, and Souhegan, but inside of 4 minutes, on the move. Boyle for Manning. Shot denied by Desmond. Scooped up on the ground ball near side by Burke. Going to thunder his way through two different defenders and come up with a clear for Bedford here on the near side. Burke going to stay with it. Little scoop pass. Taking goal line extended near side by Greer. Greer backed off by the defender Davidson. Looks for a cutter. It's Steele who finishes upstairs for the third Bedford goal. A back and forth sequence capitalized by the junior. Bedford reestablishes their 2-goal lead now at 3-1.
Patience by Greer there. He saw Steele cutting from the box, just waited until he was in a great position. Found him on his strong hand righty, and he buried top left.
How about the backhanded pass from Burke
to
start the whole thing, huh? That was a great play. We'll take it.
And Desmond got help from his friend again. That shot came off the right pipe. So
exactly.
Exciting match here so far.
Action picking up over the last couple of minutes as we head towards 3 minutes remaining. First quarter, Bedford with a 3-1 lead. Off the face-off, the scoop goes to Souhegan. Brady Melvin on that far side.
Hey, Brady Melvin is the one-man clear. He's quite a player.
However, this little bit of miscommunication maybe.
Pass down, yeah, at midfield.
Oh, didn't see the flag. Now the whistle will stop things with 3:15.
Unnecessary roughness? Boy, we missed something there.
This will be the first enforced penalty. We saw a flag down earlier. It was picked up after a Bedford goal. This time, though, it appears like it's going to be enforced as both coaches seeking explanation on that far sideline.
Seemed like something happened at the substitution box, and might have been contact on a substituting player.
Yeah, Roberto was in the box, so he must have been coming off after the face-off and either said something or tripped a guy or something along those lines.
Yeah, he's having a word with Coach Joe Hansmeyer. So it is Owen Roberto in the box for Bedford. As we come up on 3 minutes, it's the game's first EMO. Souhegan looking to cut this Bedford lead down to 1. Manning, far side, Karpowicz. Lawhorn, a spin move, a bouncing shot that's going to end up denied by Desmond. Rebound, Lawhorn went over the shoulder. Wild shot, foot race goes to Bedford. The Bulldogs get the stop they want.
Hustle play right there by Henry Sean to back up that shot. Closest to the ball, when it went out, where it went out. Gets rewarded the ball for Bedford, and they're able to kill off this penalty a little easier.
Heads up play by the defender.
And that's not a behind-the-back shot that Coach Bertrand is going to be upset with. He had really nothing to shoot at there. He was already behind.
All right, Bedford going to settle in here. Still waiting. Or are we back to even strength here?
Not quite
Not
yet.
yet. No, still only 5.
Now they are.
And here he comes.
Box. Yep.
That man jogging on the far side is Sean Toscano. All right, Bedford looking for goal number 4 as we head towards the 2-minute mark in this first quarter. Left open, wild. Not necessarily wild, but a whizzer that goes just over the crossbar there, out of the stick of Bedford's Andrew McGee.
Watch this matchup between Maniello and number 23, Sam Stevenson. Usually you'll see Maniello with a pole on him, not this time.
Toscano trying to muscle. Meanwhile, it's Augusto. Sweeping shot. Heads up play. Took it off the bounce and then in one motion let it fly. Second goal for Arbusto. Bedford's biggest lead now on the board at 4-1 with inside of 2 minutes remaining.
That ball actually got checked out of Sean Toscano's stick, and Arbusto was there for a very convenient one-hop ground balls. Able to corral it and stick it top right.
Heads up play, the senior. Fired up. We saw a similar goal from Will Greer earlier in a similar kind of catch and fire or scoop and fire situation. So Bedford on high alert. They get that to pay off. Meanwhile, another face-off win for the Bulldogs. Roberto able to get to it himself. Getting to it is one thing. Keeping it is another as Melvin, very pesky for Souhegan, forced to play out of bounds.
We're going to be calling his name a lot today, Nick.
Yeah, one of the unsung heroes in the win in the prelims over Concord back on Thursday. Meanwhile, Lawhorn trying to settle in here. The defender again is Enners. That'll be a matchup we watch closely.
He's going to draw that long stick midfielder all day long.
Quite a talent on his way, of course, to UMass Lowell. Meanwhile, Boyle trying to shake off Kerr to the right side, using that left shoulder. Slide comes over, pass goes through. The defense tipped out of bounds behind the net.
How are they going to give it to Bedford?
Yeah. I think that went off of one of the attackman sticks.
Yeah.
Good hustle as well. Ryan Ashburner involved there for the Bulldogs. A couple of outlet passes later. Steele is the cross the 50, and we're inside of a minute first quarter. Been a good start for the home team.
Last shot coming here.
Looking for an even bigger lead here out in front, 4-1. And Roger, you called it. Looks like Bedford's setting up for the final shot of the quarter.
Corey, it doesn't look like they're in man or they're in zone this time before the pull on Maniello. What do you think's up there?
Yeah, so look at Lawhorn, right? He's staying top center. He's not moving over with these two on the near side. So I'm thinking they're in a 5-man zone, and Maniello's getting face guarded.
Here's Greer.
On a 5-man rotation down here.
Arbusto trying to shake him off, shot and score. Well, the defender, Brett Bouvier, didn't give him much room to operate. Didn't matter, Arbusto. Little shoulder shake and a beautiful drop step move. Gets goal number 3 here and is looking very, very good in this first quarter.
I talked to Arbusto's father shortly after graduation today, and he just looked me in the eye and he just said, Connor is ready. He is so pumped. He has been pumped in the last 2 days, and clearly he came out to play today. He has been everywhere on the offensive side of the field.
Yeah, and you mentioned kind of dealing with a lingering injury that has not seemed to bother him in the early going. Bulldogs, time for one more maybe. Down to 5 seconds. They win the face-off. Tough shot, though, challenged on the far wing as Kramer tried to make it work. Out of bounds, less than a second. See what they do here on the restart. Nothing much, and that'll do it. Well, first quarter in the books. Bedford looking good on their home field. They leave Souhegan 5-1 after one. Right back for quarter number 2 in a moment. You're watching the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament quarterfinal round here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Souhegan 5-1, the winner advancing to Tuesday's Final Four, where they will take on Bishop Girton. During the break, Corey, you saw something there from Souhegan's defense on that last Bedford goal.
Yeah, Nick, having been a defender of my entire lacrosse career, you know you have certain principles when you go in from man-to-man versus zone defense. In a zone defense, you're wanting to help from the adjacent zones. So on that last one, Arbusto went to his right, came back to his strong hand, left hand, yet the adjacent defender didn't come over for the help defense. That's what you're expecting from your zone defense. Those adjacent zone defense players need to come over and help on the ball. Coach Bertrand is really going to want to see that out of his defense. And Roger, I don't know if he's going to stay with that zone, if he's going to stay with a face guard, if he's going to switch it up, go back to man. What do you think?
Well, I got to tell you, we haven't seen Souhegan do zone defense at all this season. It's not just been the games that we broadcasted here. I've seen them play several other times. And, it's hard enough to play a 3-3 zone out there. Now you're going to drop a guy outside and you're going to go 5-5. So Riley Lawhorn was just kind of functioning nowhere in the middle of all of that, and you're exactly right. It's hard to do if you're not used to doing it.
Yeah, Arbusto, to his credit, able to beat the goaltender 3 times in that first quarter to spearhead this Bedford 5-1 lead. Bulldogs also had the advantage at the face-off X, and after a lengthy ground ball battle here, we'll take this one.
Nice pass.
Pass middle, a little off target though. Trying to free up McGee. Couldn't reach out low enough to scoop that in. Ultimately, though, he's backed up by his teammate, Henry Shawn. And Bedford has it. Team switching ends, of course. Bulldogs will go right to left. This is not Henry Shawn, it's Max Maniello. Sienna commit. Senior trying to dip that right shoulder. Bumped off the spot. Retreats near side. Melvin is the defender.
Surprise, huh, Nick? Melvin, best defender on the field last Thursday, and he's on Max.
Yeah. Maniello gets a shot off. Tried to go upstairs. Fritz read it the whole way. Outlet for Lawhorn. And now Riley going to beat 2 Bulldogs across midfield. Up the near side. Karpowicz across the zone. Shot denied by Desmond.
Heated up.
That was, who was that? That was the freshman, I think. Yep. Cole Manning tried to go low below the knee. Meanwhile, whistle here. Turned over to Souhegan.
I think it was offsides.
Yeah, Greer came up for that long outlet pass from Desmond. Caught the ball, but put a foot over that 50, so he's offsides.
Corey, the NHIAA rules and NFHS rules, according to the 50-yard line, is you've got to delineate the 50 with a different color. Do you think that affects a lot of guys? We've seen a lot of blatant offsides by teams this year.
Yeah.
It could. Certainly you have the yellow extended from the 50. You have the pylon there on the 50. You're trying to help those players as much as possible, but it is confusing. Those football yardage markers just kind of run together.
A lot of lines down there on the turf either way. All right, Souhegan looking for goal number 2. Now 2 minutes in, second quarter. Lawhorn, spin move, muscle shot, ends up wide to the near side. Backed up by Manning, it'll stay with Karpowicz and Souhegan.
He's gathering a lot of attention there. He's getting past the long stick midfielder every once in a while and drawing quick slides. Great check.
Lost it in the middle. Boyle on the far side keeps it at this end.
Henry Shawn got a little bit of a save me check there, but it worked.
Near side. Little start and stop. Holland back behind the cage. It's the freshman Manning. Long pull Burke on him. Up top, Ennis breaks it up. Michael takes a shot. Flag is going to fly, and the whistle blows. Well, Lawhorn gave a 2-hand shove into the chest, I think it was of Joe Michael.
Yeah, I think this is going to be Quan, though.
Yeah.
I think it's 13 that's
Quan
going to go.
unbeaten, I believe.
Oh, you might be right, though. Looks like Riley Hand. They were all on top of him, that's for sure.
Ashburner in the mix as well. It was Lawhorn who was
He takes a knee.
the guilty party. So one penalty now each way, as you can see there, the hit.
A bit of a cross-check right up in the mug.
Yeah, that was Ashburner who went down, and then Michael trying to stick up for his teammate. Took a little shot at Lawhorn there after the whistle. So Lawhorn into the box. Bedford onto the EMO for the first time with a 5-1 lead nearly 3 minutes into this second quarter.
But how about the Bulldogs' defense there? Knocking down passes, picking things off. Really frustrating the offense for the Sabres.
Yeah.
Roger Howe, the defenseman, really loves it.
Well, hey, you and I played side by side. You know, I know what you like. You like carrying the ball up the field.
Far side. Bedford taking their time. Greer over the top. Shot, score. Woo! Well, Sienna's getting one heck of a shooter. Picks his target there, goes into the corner, and knocks down the shot from the near wing. Beautiful. Lets it rip right in the face of Melvin. Over his head, you see there, and then perfect placement in the top corner of the cage for goal number 6.
Hey, give Greer an assist on that. Not too difficult to play, but nice play, and Maniello is back on the board.
Greer's third assist of the day. Maniello really, honestly, could not place that any better.
Right. Comes with just over 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Bedford's lead is now 6-1. They've scored 4 unanswered goals, dating back to about midway through the first quarter. Meanwhile, they continue to get wins at the face-off X. Coming up is Kerr, takes it himself across the 50. And now going to slow things down. The Souhegan fans wanted an offside call.
Looks like they have 3 back to me. I don't see an offside.
Me either. The box counts, by the way.
Meanwhile, inside, Schmidt lost it just outside the net. Fritz, though, harassed, and now a whistle.
Timeout is my guess. Yep.
Yep.
Good timeout by Coach Joe Hansmeyer.
Yep, that'll ensure the Bedford possession. It comes with just about 4 minutes gone by in this second quarter. So the intangibles, guys, that we talked about pregame seem to be benefiting Bedford, as well as the goal scorer tally as well on the scoreboard, right, Roger?
Yeah, I mean, we see some highlights of what we saw the other day against Concord with Souhegan, but the biggest noticeable difference here is that the Bedford defense is shutting down the keys to the Souhegan offense. There's no question about that. And you may agree with me, Corey, on this. Roberto's having a day at the faceoff circle. I mean, Roberto's been strong.
What's the tally there, Roger?
We are now 7-2 Bedford. So, you know, give Bedford some credit there at the circle. They're working Garant. Garant actually had a good day the other day against Concord.
Yep. And then again, if you're Souhegan, Corey, to your points, you got to tighten things up defensively, right?
Absolutely. Coach Bertrand is trying a couple of wrinkles on the defensive end. And, you know, some of the gimmicks work. Sometimes they don't. You know, personally, I like to play man-to-man defense and slide early if you need to. You have to key on the certain offensive players who you know are the top guns and slide early. Get the ball moving. Get it out of their sticks. So if I'm Coach Bertrand, I might just go back to the basics.
Corey, quick question for you. At the and right before that timeout, we heard the fans yelling timeout, offside. Explain what the box means in conjunction with being offsides and not being offsides when you see 2 players back and not 3.
Yeah, sure. So it's all about the number of players on the offensive end there, right? They only had 6 players in the offensive play. They were making a substitution. So even though they only had 2 players on the defensive end, they did not have 7 players on their offensive end. So the player was still coming through the box, and it's a legal play.
The box counts, as we say.
Sure does.
All right, Bedford with Lawhorn still in the box for Souhegan.
We have 6-on-6.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, he's on the sideline there. Sorry.
No worries. Just trying to make sure the viewers are following.
Right. Toscano. Going to come behind the cage here. Bedford going to settle in. Been methodical on the attack. Maniello scored a moment ago. Trying to bull rush back towards the middle. Thinking about the shot. Second slide comes over, knocks it loose. Maniello recovers. It's back across the zone near side. That's in and out of the stick of Kramer on the wing. Now, big collision here again. The Souhegan crowd is upset. Is there a Sabre still down? Now the whistle does come. That's Brett Bouvier, the freshman defender who got shaken up.
Little interference away from the ball. Kind of a blindside hit, though pretty much right in line with when Kramer picked up the ground ball. So it could have been seen as a blindside, maybe an unnecessary roughness. The referee decided not to throw a flag there.
Can you recognize me, sir? I'm going to have to ask you again.
Yeah, do we have a stoppage
No
play
flag,
here, Corey?
no flag. Maybe there is a flag, so.
They're going to call it on Schmidt?
Well, Schmidt explaining himself over there with Coach Joe Hansmeyer on the Bedford sideline.
He's taken
Schmidt,
out.
the man who laid the hit. He's now behind his teammates over there near the bench area.
Yeah,
there's the hit again.
6-on-6. It looks like they're going to play.
I don't understand why the stoppage.
That got the Souhegan portion of this crowd in Bedford very upset.
Yeah, I don't understand this at all. They shouldn't have gotten the ball at the 50-yard line either.
Well, Souhegan, they'll take it. They've got work to do. Nearly 5 minutes in, second quarter, trailing 6-1. Far side, it's Boyle. One of three guys who scored at least 3 goals in that prelim win over Concord back on Thursday. Meanwhile, Karpowicz for Manning. Back out deep. Souhegan in no particular hurry as the Sabres' Daniel Kwan takes his time on the far side wing. Meanwhile, Holland back behind the cage. Now Boyle in a hard sprint. Shakes off a man. Pass broken up. Ball kicked out of the zone near side. Scooped up again by Ennis of Bedford on the long pole. Now Desmond tiptoeing behind his own net. Trying to find some room on the clear. Outlet pass. Taken near side. That's broken up.
Hoof it out here.
In and out of the stick there. McGee for a moment. McGee ultimately ends up with the clear. Maniello and the Bedford attack now trying to set things up. Coming up on the midway point, second quarter. Bedford a 6-1 lead. They've been in control the whole way and have scored the last 4 unanswered. Greer has scored 1, so has Magnus Steele, the man charging in onto the play there. Greer going to come back near side. Daniel Kaliza with a rare touch. Now back on the wing for Kramer. Souhegan in a man-to-man. Kramer, fancy footwork, trying to find his way. Draws a second man, keeps it. Still tiptoeing. Second defender was Josh Dupoy, the sophomore. Flag here.
Flags everywhere, Coach.
One just flew here on the near side wing.
Dirty laundry on the field.
Arbusto behind the cage. Spins away from Lawhorn. Lost his footing, gets up, charges the net. Ball knocked away by Fritz, scooped up by Melvin, and there's the whistle. With inside of 6 minutes remaining until halftime, another penalty on the way.
We got a slash here, Nick. Looks like number 5, Tony Garrett, is going to be headed off to the box there.
Take a look at Arbusto. Almost came up with goal number 4 there a moment ago.
I don't know. I think this is going to be on Lawhorn.
If so, that's the second penalty against the senior.
Or is that 15, Josh Dupuy? Looks like 15.
Yeah, you're
Tough
right.
to make out the numbers from here, but it's a long stick.
Yeah, it's
little
Dupuy.
tap on the head and drew the hanky. So.
Yep. Sophomore down on his right knee in the box. Lawhorn, by the way, came off the field at the same time.
Yeah.
And is over on the Souhegan sideline. Coming up in 5 minutes, Bedford. An extra man opportunity, trying to stretch this lead to 7-1. Schmidt, far side, Arbusto, giving room, shot, and score.
Right in.
That is number 2 for Max Maniello. Knocked down initially by Fritz, the ball's momentum. Carried it across the line for goal number 7 here for Bedford.
Sounded like it hit pipe, too. It might have hit the pipe and come back and hit Fritz off his backside and dribbled in right behind him.
Yeah, I think you got that right, Corey. It was not a clean goal by any means, but it definitely hit bodies and pipe. You know, you and I just kind of eyeballed each other during that last before the penalty. We're watching the defensive side of this game, and there's a lot of good slides going on, but the backside is wide open. wide open here. So watch to see if the coaching staff picks up on this.
It looked like it was Kramer and Steele up top for Bedford that were working a little two-man game, and both defenders went towards Kramer. Steele was wide open for a time and space crank, and they didn't see him.
Another ground ball goes to Bedford off the face-off. Their 8th win at the X. Trying to come middle undeterred was the Bulldogs' Hadley. Bedford in the end going to slow things down as Kaliza backtracks along here the near sideline. Inside a final 5 minutes, first half. A first half that's been dominated by the home team. Bedford has scored the last 5 goals. Not going to force one here as Kaliza brings it out to the hot stick. That's Maniello.
Good matchup there.
Scored on the last 2. Pass middle for Arbusto. Shot. Was a little wide. Good catch, though, in a crowded area out in front of the net.
Good collapse on Arbusto there in the middle, too, with the pass coming into him after the slide. So good second slide to fill the gap.
Still got a shot off, though. Kraft, he got his hands free and was able to get
did.
that ball towards the net. Nice check there.
Scored 3 goals in that first quarter. Greer jammed up. Somehow gets it off. Kuliza then coughs it. Loose. Fritz out of his net to secure it for Souhegan. Long bounce, far side, and Davidson is knocked down. Taken away by Arbusto, and he's pushed down.
Right here.
Letting him play a little bit. No. Wow. Came from midfield.
Wow. Bouvier who came in on the big hit for Souhegan. It's been a rough first half.
I hate to tell you, that's the right call, guys. I mean, not the first one, but the second one. The second one was clearly a push.
Flag down back at the 34-yard line there in front of the Bedford bench. It's going to go against Bouvier, who is not happy coming off the field.
Yeah, Arbusto with a hustle play to get that ball out of the stick of the defender. It looked like Will Davidson back there.
Yep.
Legal play, and then Arbusto took one up high, and they called the push.
It's getting rough. Playoff intensity. Nothing wrong with that,
It's a
right?
physical game, Nick. You got to be a man to be out there.
That's right.
It's fun to see these guys getting physical and bringing their A game.
Another EMO trip for Bedford. Trying to extend this lead to 8-1 as we make our way towards the 3-minute mark in this first half. Bulldogs have never trailed. Maniello from the wing. Shot denied by Fritz. Got it with the stick head. Saved it low. Fritz with 13 saves in the win over the Crimson Tide 2 days ago. Comes way out of his net looking for Lawhorn. He can't keep it in his stick at midfield. Loose on the ground. Boyle in the mix for Souhegan, trying to fight off Michael, and does. Runs into a wall. That's Ashburner, who's going to stay with him along that far sideline. Boyle finally gives it up. He took his eye off it. It's Connor Holland has to regroup along that far sideline. Inside now, 3 minutes. Well, not been the first half Souhegan was hoping for. However, guys, if they can maybe get one here, cut into this deficit before halftime, I'd assume the Sabres would take that, right, Corey?
Absolutely. You know, they're looking to get one before the halftime here. 2.5 to go, maybe 2. I mean, there's plenty of time for more than one goal here. They really have to get their offense in gear and get some shots on Desmond. He really hasn't seen a lot of rubber.
Manning inside, trying to jam it. It was well covered.
It just doesn't seem like the offense has any flow to it. They're doing a lot of freelancing out there. Usually when you're having difficulty getting things cranked up on offense, you want to start running some plays. You want to run a different set. Maybe you go 1-4 here for once in a while and just see what you can do to the defense.
Instead, Bulldogs again get a stop. Meanwhile, the wind has picked up here at Bulldog Stadium. Skies have become overcast and doors are slamming. Kids are seeking shelter.
Tents are flying away.
Tents are flying away.
And we may be getting some
excitement here.
Yeah, some rain maybe on the way.
Maniello stings one high.
Shot and score. Maniello starting to put on a show in this second quarter, Roger. That's now 3 straight from the senior.
Listen, this guy, he's got talent, and you let his hands get extended while he's got full speed, ain't going to happen. It's hard, and there's no slide on this.
Yeah, you see him. He drives hard right-handed, gets to what you might consider a really tough angle, but he comes with the heat. Real strong shot, brings the velocity, and it beats Fritz high.
Starting to rain here in Bedford. Wind and rain really picking up out of nowhere. And a lot of folks here in this crowd starting to scramble. Some have the umbrellas, some are seeking drier areas.
A lot of commotion, Nick.
Yep.
A lot of excitement, too.
Final minute 35, a bit surreal here. Meanwhile, this one broken up out in front of the cage. There's another flag, by the way, back at the 25-yard line. The penalties really adding up in this first half, particularly in the second quarter.
Well, this will be on Bedford, clearly.
Boyle, backdoor for Holland. He's surrounded.
It's a whistle.
Ball is loose. Yeah. Well, nobody claims it yet. Kerr in the mix now will finally scoop it for the home team.
Yeah,
and we get a penalty coming against Bedford with 1:04 to go, with the Bulldogs out in front 8-1.
Yeah, this is not going to be good for the progression of this game. If we see one flash of lightning, that means a 30-minute delay based on the rules of high school sports.
Now, Roger, I'm getting ready to see a witch ride by on a bicycle or something. I mean,
dun, 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 dun.
Oh, that's right. The flag is at full staff. The trees, those 100 feet high pine trees starting to sway. And again, the rain is now falling as well. So we'll keep an eye on the sky, especially for the final minute plus here. Souhegan going to try and capitalize on the EMO. They trail 8-1. And now have to try to complete the comeback in the downpour. It's Boyle on that far side, going to work it behind the cage. Swung near side for Karpowicz. The big senior lost it.
Good check by Ashburn. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was Henrishon.
Henrishon's bottled him up pretty well. Karpowicz does have the only Souhegan goal.
Pipe.
And that's the third shot, right, Corey? That's hit iron. So it ends up out of play. Still 27 seconds remaining.
I always yell to my goalie, great save.
Karpowicz. Well, that's one way to beat the goaltender, just run him over. Ran through Henderson, charged at Desmond in the net, and finished it upstairs. A man amongst boys on that one. And boy, oh boy, did Souhegan need it. They get it with 21 seconds remaining in this first half.
Now, where would Amherst be or Souhegan be without Karpowicz right now? He's a one-man wrecking crew, and he's literally unstoppable unless you've got someone of the same size and strength playing against him defensively.
Good bull dodge there. Just dipped his shoulder, got right by the defender, went right to the crease, and buried top side.
Looked like you on the baseline.
I appreciate that, sir.
Scooped up
a little
near side. It's still loose. Souhegan's got it. Boyle looks at the clock. Enough time here. 10 seconds.
Wow.
Boyle's stick goes flying. Let's get the Souhegan sideline upset. The officials finally blow this one. I think we have a timeout coming, from Coach Bertrand.
He's got 10 seconds left here in the half. He just wants to set up a play, see if he can stick another one here in the net. And then again, like we talked about a couple minutes ago, he'll feel real good going into halftime if he can get these two last goals before the half.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what do you do here if you're Souhegan? You go back to Karpowicz, or is Bedford expecting that?
I would go something with at least two guys on the crease here. Karpowicz on the far side in the corner. Try to drive in and see the crease. If you don't see the crease, you're skipping over to Karpowicz and letting him do his thing.
But you got to give the ball to Riley Lawhorn right now, right? You have him start with the ball. He's going to draw the long stick midfielder, so you know that already. You get some picks on ball, get some picks off ball, get some action all over the place, and you find something real close. You got one pass and one shot.
Yeah, in situations like this, I've been surprised because I would have said the same thing about Riley before, but they've posted him on the crease many times too, in a situation where they've had very, very little time. Usually it's going to be Connor Holland
looks like you're right.
Looks like okay. So Holland is up top right now. So they're gonna pack the crease here for sure.
Holland set for the restart on that far sideline. Souhegan's got to hurry. Down to 7, down to 6. Holland draws the slide. Down to 4, down to 3, over the top. Here's Lawhorn. Splits the defenders. Can't quite get the shot off, however.
This swarming defense by the Bulldogs. They saw it coming. They were keying on Lawhorn. They slid early, and they prevented the shot.
And that pretty much sums up the first half for Bedford. A dominating defensive performance. Roger Howe They're out in front 8-2 at halftime.
Yeah, and that was one of the keys to the game. I said, defensively they had to, shut down the keys to the Souhegan offense. And, defensively for the Bulldogs, they have done one heck of a job out there, shutting down Souhegan and moving the ball up the field so the offense can do their thing. So that's been a good part.
You touched on it right there at the end. Was the key to this game so far is for the Bulldogs on the defensive end. They've keyed on their offensive players. They've been able to prevent too much of an offensive output for the Sabres. So that's really been the difference here.
Yeah, 8-2. Bedford at halftime. We got some rain here at Bulldogs Stadium. We're hoping to get the second half underway without a hitch in about 9, maybe 10 minutes from now. So we will step aside, come back with our halftime report, a look back at some of the numbers from that first half, as well as a look around the tournament. Big Saturday playoff action around the state of New Hampshire. We'll get to all of that, excuse me, in just a moment. You are watching coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament quarterfinal round action here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. We are in conjunction today with both the NFHS, VCTV, and ETV as well. It's all presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Well, we are now set for the second half after a lengthy hour-long delay here at halftime. Bedford on top of Souhegan 8-2 in this quarterfinal round matchup. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, Corey Munster, Tiger with you. The Bulldogs really dominated the first 2 quarters prior to the lightning delay, as Bedford, in their first tournament game, scored the first 2 goals and held a 2-0 lead about midway through that first quarter. Connor Arbusto and Will Greer combining for the 2 scores. Alex Karpowicz got Souhegan on the board with inside of 5 minutes to go in that first quarter to cut the Bedford lead at 2-1, but then the Bulldogs score 3 straight. Magnus Steele, 2 more by Arbusto. Home team led 5-1 after 1. Then 3 more as Bedford continuing to build their lead. Max Maniello scored all 3. The senior headed to Siena. Gave Bedford a commanding 8-1 lead going into that final minute, but Bulldog penalties hurt the home team. Karpowicz cashed in on an EMO for Souhegan, and that is where we are over an hour later. 8-2 in favor of the Bulldogs as we get set, guys, for this second half.
Keys to this coming out of the lengthy delay, Nick. You just have to see what kind of mental state each team's going to be in. An hour sitting in either the garage over there or in your car, trying to stay ready for lacrosse, trying to keep your muscles warm, trying to get your head back into the game. It's going to be a crucial test for both teams here to see how they come out after this lengthy delay.
Yeah, I would agree, and I never liked rain delays as a coach. It's very, very hard to get your team back on track, even though this is, as you mentioned, Corey, a game of runs. That's kind of inherent to the game. Souhegan needs a game of runs here to get started right off the bat here in the third. And it's really going to be, in my mind, a game of mental toughness. What team can get right back on track here? Does the coach get them up, right at the first whistle here? And who looks fresher and mentally ready to go?
Well, again, the winner goes on to the Final Four, which will be played Tuesday night in Division I. Bishop Girton, 18-4 winners earlier today over Nashua South, awaits the winner of this game. Exeter, they dispatched over earlier this afternoon as well. They will face Pinkerton. The 2-time defending champions beat Londonderry today by a score of 9-4. Other scores on the boys' side: Timberlane in Division II. They will appear in the semifinals after beating Hollis Brookline 14-9. They will face the winner of Hanover and Kingswood. By the way, that game is at halftime out west, with Hanover on top of Kingswood 5-3. Derryfield, they win today over Pembroke big, 15-2. The final there in favor of the Cougars. And Portsmouth, they will meet Derryfield next week after the Clippers came away with a 9-2 victory over Oyster River this afternoon.
Shocker. Hanover loses to Kingswood. They came back 10-6 winner.
So that's a final.
That's a final.
Kingswood advances. They are the 4th Division II Final Four team. So Kingswood, they remain unbeaten.
Yeah, exactly.
And dispatch Hanover in the process. So there you have it. Final Four set on the boys' side in D2. And upon conclusion of the second half here in Bedford, we will have our 4th Final Four team in Division I as well. Speaking of the Final Four, on the girls' side, we were scheduled to begin at 7:30 here at Bedford High between BG and Bedford. That obviously is not going to happen. Not sure what the updated timetable looks like, but again, that originally scheduled semifinal between BG and Bedford on delay, at least as of now, as we're still waiting for the second half on the boys' side. All right, let's talk about some keys. Any adjustments, Corey, you see maybe on the way from either Souhegan or Bedford?
Yeah, I'm just watching the warm-ups here, and it reminds me that when it's wet out, the stick actually starts to bag out. The pocket of the stick and how it's holding the ball, it changes very slightly. So, it's a very subtle thing, but it can have a pretty big effect on accuracy of shots, accuracy of passes. You're hoping that they're going to be able to adjust and adapt to the equipment as it changes. But, you know, we go back to what we talked about coming into the first half. Stay out of the box, take care of the ball, make smart passes, get open good looks, and bury the ball when you have them.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, at this level, still a lot of high school players don't know how to adjust their stick. They don't know how to change the pocket and loosen or tighten the strings up, things like that, make adjustments. You and I have commented many, many times during the season how, like Dumont from Portsmouth that night, he just could not hit anything. His string was, you know, just playing havoc with him. So, you know, hopefully a lot of these boys can kind of overcome that. And along with the wetness factor, when you're shooting, okay? And I don't know if a lot of people out there know, but when you hit the turf with a bounce shot in lacrosse with a lacrosse ball, the thing just right. So whatever speed it's at, it's going to go 2 to 3 times faster once it hits that wet spot. So we could see some weird shots here. Hopefully, you know, a lot of these experienced players out there, you know, can adapt to that and use that as a tool.
Yeah. Well, we certainly got our share of rain over the last hour. Torrential downpours here throughout southern New Hampshire. The good news, the bad weather appears to be behind us, and it cooled the area off a little bit with temperatures in the 90s leading up to game time and really up until halftime when the skies opened up. So the thunder, the lightning, and the rain seemingly now in the rearview mirror. Sun beginning to go down. The lights are on here at Bulldog Stadium, and we are finally, after about an 80-minute delay, set for the second half.
Yeah, that rain probably really cooled down the turf, too. We heard some information before the game started that turf was probably around 105, maybe 110 degrees, so really spicy surface for those players out there. Creates a tough environment to play, but those torrential rains that you were just talking about, Nick, have probably really cooled that turf off.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see the steam for a while rising off of the field, up into the air, and well, everybody's, I think, about ready. And that includes this crowd to see this second half get underway. By the way, good crowd here, neighboring towns, so the visitors have plenty of representation here as well, and at times got vocal in that rough and tumble first half, Roger.
Yeah, it was a little interesting there. We had to kind of back away and let the folks here at Bedford High School take care of some of the ruckusness. But, hey, that's behind us. Looking forward to a really, really good third quarter here.
All right, here we go. Bedford a 6-goal lead on the board as we begin the third quarter. Souhegan, they had trouble at the face-off X in the first half. They win the opening face-off to begin the second half. And here is Brady Melvin, the defender, after a lengthy possession on the clear, gets rid of it.
Failure to advance.
Yep.
Didn't step it in the box quickly enough, so they're
Mental mistake, right, Corey?
quick turnover right there. They did a great job on the face-off, got control of it. As you said, Bedford was dominating that in the first half. And they didn't step it into the offensive box nearly fast enough, so their failure to advance turns it over to Bedford.
Coach Bertrand not happy. Hands on his hips, still barking at the officials. Meanwhile, Bedford very efficient on the attack in that first half. Going to have trouble here. Losing it was Will Kramer.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what Coach Bertrand would be angry about there other than at his own players for just not, getting into the swing of things right away. That was clear. I mean, you count it down. And
yeah, Arbusto just missed Greer on the backside there. Sitting on the doorstep. I think he got screened out by a couple defensive sticks.
Meanwhile, this is Riley Lawhorn. Avoids 2 men and a stick on his way across the 50. Leaves it for a shot. Here's a shot and a score. Well, that's Anthony Garant, the junior. Able to go low. Brings the Amherst crowd to their feet here in Bedford.
well, how many times this season have we said it? Riley Lawhorn, single man clear from the end line, brings it all the way down to the offensive side. Great play over to number 4, and then that's Holland, and then in the net.
So Garant with the goal. Karpowicz scored both for Souhegan in that first half. Coach Bertrand, I'm sure, pleased to see another goal scorer get his name in the book. Meanwhile, Garant at the face-off X. trying to secure it. Melvin helps him out. Comes near side, and now Holland is on the move. Souhegan looking for business. Pass middle, broken up. As Burke, the long pole, comes away with it. Stole it from Boyle.
Almost out and in with Burke there. He was very dangerously close to the crease.
Meanwhile, Quinlan Kerr, his pass broken up. Souhegan trying to escape their own end. The goaltender, Fritz, is out of the goal. He's got the ball. Outlet pass far side for Melvin. Up the middle for Garand, who pulls it in from behind.
Hey, they get another one here. You're going to look for a timeout from Coach Joe Hansmeyer. Sabres have come out on fire. They're excited. Their crowd is behind them. A lot of excitement right now.
Playing with more energy than really at any point in that first half.
Here it is.
Garand tripped up from behind, got the inside step on Michael. Meanwhile, another Bulldog, Henry Shawn, one of their starting defenders, grabbed his back in some pain there.
Yeah, so playing without a stick. So number 21, Andrew McGee, had the stick checked out of his hand. You need to go right back to your stick. You can't interfere with any other player. It's called playing without a stick, so Sabres are awarded the ball there.
Yeah, McGee stayed in the mix after he lost his equipment. So Souhegan, who scored. Just over a minute gone in the second half, trying to do so again here. 3 minutes in, third quarter. Second man comes over, pass. Ends up getting behind Lawhorn, rolling back to midfield. Lawhorn going to keep it in play for Souhegan.
Yeah, avoided the over and back there.
Double team, bounce pass for Holland. Now he's swarmed by 4 defenders.
Just take some body there.
So now escape somehow. Now Souhegan prodding the defense. This is Brady Crow on the far side.
Spins back up top. Lawless looks gassed there. He's got his stick on his head.
Lawhorn, yeah.
Oh, Lawhorn, excuse me.
Yeah, he's logged a lot of minutes
Good check.
this season.
Noticed that in the last game too, Corey, that he's going both ways as a midfielder, sees very little break. And they just park him on the crease and let him catch his breath, really.
Yeah, right.
Maniello. Left to right, going to slow it down here on the near side is Bedford. Trying to reestablish a 6-goal lead. Bulldogs have never trailed. They beat Souhegan twice in a home-and-home during the regular season. Far side, this is Kramer. And one wide, Greer unchallenged. Going to back it up, keep it here at this end with now 4 minutes gone by second half. Greer, who scored one of the Bedford goals back in that first quarter. Trying to shake off the long pole Bouvier. Greer reverses direction behind the cage, looks for a cutter. He's got steal, shot, and score. Magnus Steele scored in the first quarter. Scores again here for Bedford, and they're back out in front now 9-3.
I said this earlier in the season when we did the Bedford-Wyndham game. Greer having that ice hockey experience and being able to body up against a larger defender, it just doesn't faze him. And he can just pop off the equal pressure by the defender, find the open cutter like he did there with Steele. Great play.
You know, I talk about his change of direction, and Nick, you just touched on it right before he had the assist there. His 4th assist of the day, by the way. Greer goes behind the net, changes direction, gets back to his strong hand, his left hand, gets space from the defender, and has an excellent feed to Steele cutting through the middle.
Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about off air at halftime. Greer really been involved in the majority of these Bedford goals, including on that one there from behind the cage.
Yeah, good play. Bad play here.
Yep, it's loose. Kerr trying to stay with it for Bedford. Burke trying to dig it up as well.
Got to be a failure. Oh, it's an over and back. Okay. They stepped it into the offensive box. When they go into the offensive box, they cannot go back into their defensive end. It's called an over and back.
So Lawhorn will pick it up for Souhegan. And the Sabres back on the attack with 5 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on that after the game and check that out on the feed because I think it touched a black player before it touched Burke.
Check the replay here. Come on, Coach.
I will. I'll call you later.
Please do.
Souhegan taking their time here. Top of the box, Lawhorn launches near side. Manning, back door. This is Greer, spins away from Kerr, lost the ball. Picked up on the side of the net by Desmond. And Desmond loses it from his stick behind the cage. Going to launch a long outlet pass. Henry Schoen catches overhead. Goes middle. Got a man here. It's Christopher trying to split two defenders and cannot do it. Ball on the turf, scooped up now by Lawhorn. The Souhegan senior in a sprint. Wants it himself and is going to score on the move.
Heels.
Riley Longhorn, the UMass Lowell commit, held off the scoreboard until now his first goal.
Combination of speed and strength right there. Scooped through that ground ball and ran by several defenders. Got some time and space. Buried far side. Excellent play by Longhorn.
He was on a mission.
Absolutely.
He got that ground ball in the mix at midfield, and he was not going to be stopped. He just poured it on.
Had another gear there, it looked like.
He sure did.
Yeah, from what we were just talking about, where he was taking a break.
Not for long.
Not for long.
Bedford, another face-off win. They dominated the X in the first half. They get one here as we cross the midway point, third quarter. Home team still out in front 9-4.
And now he's taking a break. He's got his stick above his head. He's gassed again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's Maniello against Melvin. It's been a fun matchup. Maniello led the way for Bedford. 3 goals, all coming early in that second quarter. Part of a 6-0 run that Bedford was able to put together, bridging the first and second quarters.
Watch Arbusto here.
Greer for Schmidt. Schmidt far side. Back out on the wing. Bedford going to restart. Melvin really tracking Maniello all the way to midfield here. Maniello turns on the gas, right side, gets by Melvin. Second man is Davidson. Spins middle, slips on the turf. Lost the ball. Davidson hounding him from behind. Melvin in the mix as well. Then it's Steele, takes a waist-high bouncer. Trying to find some room now on the other side. Goes behind the cage, looks out front. Faking the shot, stepping in is Kramer. He lost the ball. Steele trying to help him out.
This ball push.
And a push against Souhegan will keep it with Bedford inside of 5 minutes now, third quarter.
Little action on the skill side there. A couple of good dodges.
Great GB by Magnus Steele, too. Took it behind, was trying to get top side there. Drew the double, dumped it. They couldn't quite get the shot off, but I like it.
Kramer now trying to get away from Garant. Comes near his side. And it's a dance here between those two. Going to get rid of it. Goal line extended. Now Greer. Greer trying to spin. Boyle on him.
Good match for him.
There's Magnus Steele. Lines and fires. That one is wide. Steele cashed in from a similar spot back in that first half.
Yeah, Greer has Boyle on him right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
The attackman is back on the defensive end. Is actually playing pretty good.
Arbusto, a bouncer, denied by Fritz. Able to scoop it from down on one knee. Now the outlet for Melvin. Souhegan has had trouble this afternoon dealing with this Bedford ride. Now Garant in trouble at midfield. Can't locate the ball as it bounces up in the sky. Taken off the turf in the end by Holland. Holland now runs into trouble out in front of the net. And he cannot escape the sea of white with the ball intact. Instead, it's Kerr the other way. The Bulldog defender will pump the brakes. And again, Bedford, who has controlled it most of the game, was hoping to settle in there. Instead, Maniello watches the ball slip away. Melvin up the floor for Hawley. Now a flag is going to fly way back near the Souhegan cage. It'll be the first penalty of this second half.
Maniello on an unnecessary roughness on the backside there. A little late hit out of bounds after the defender made the pass.
Both teams were heavily penalized back in the first half, particularly in that second quarter.
Finally hear a call there, Corey, for a set. Now that they've got a man-up possibility with a double dip here.
Lawhorn trying to make his
nice
move, shot and score.
Got it.
Well, a terrific shot, tough angle as he approached the cage. Lawhorn's second of this third quarter, his second of the game. And again, Bedford's lead is cut. Now 9-5.
Yeah, Desmond had good positioning there. He left the whole weak side open, but, you know, Lawhorn really didn't have an angle, but he found it. He struck gold.
Well, finesse on that release. Able to beat Desmond.
Got a little dip dodge. Put his shoulder down a little bit. Burke tried a little save me check to get back. Just missed his stick on the shot attempt, so it's a 4-goal game here. And they get possession again.
Yep. So Souhegan has scored 3 of the 4 in this third quarter, including 2 in a row. They trailed big at halftime, 8-2. At one point, trailed 8-1. Lawhorn near side fakes the shot, then lost the ball.
Good check by Burke.
And Burke who comes up with the ground ball as well.
Get rid of it.
Now trying to swim through 3 different jerseys around him. Burke, a diving attempt on the far side, tried to fan it back inbounds. Instead it goes to Souhegan.
Boy, big difference in the ride in this half for Souhegan.
Yeah. Bedford able to clear repeatedly without a problem in the first half. Not the case so far in this third quarter. We move inside of 3 minutes. Sabres a chance to get as close as they've been since the first quarter.
Coach Bertrand has rotated Riley Lawhorn down to attack, and he has Boyle playing midfield. Although he's behind now, he's been rotating through the
and
midfield
Manning's
box.
up top, Corey. He hasn't been up top all game. He's been down low in the corner.
Some of those halftime adjustments we had talked about.
You know, like we said, you got to mix it up on offense here, and they hadn't done that at all in the first half.
Holland wants a shot, ends up wide.
Good little fake up top.
Meanwhile, Coach Joe Hansmeyer down all the way to the 20-yard line on the home sideline, trying to coach up this defense. Karpowicz denied at the doorstep. That's Desmond. Desmond quiet at times in that first half, but starting to rise to the occasion. Comes up with a good stop there. Meanwhile, Arbusto trying to swim through. Now on his way to the cage. Scored 3 goals in that first quarter. One-handed shot is up and in.
How did that go in?
Well, it's his night. The senior who graduated earlier today. Got everything working right now. Bedford needed that. They get it. They're back out in front 10-5.
Talk to me about that, Corey. He goes through 2 guys and underhands it.
You know, it started back at midfield, though. He, veteran play, saw it miss his teammate, and he backed it up at the 35 or 40-yard line on the ground ball.
Yeah.
Then he dodged 2 or 3 players, stuck it in his opposite hand, threw it at the net. Guess what? Like playoff hockey, get shots on net. Beat the goalie. Offside hip. Just a tough save for the goalie back there, Fritz. And he finds the back of the net. Excellent individual effort there by Arbusto.
Yeah, he's got 4 goals.
Did they just do a stick check on him?
They sure did.
Yeah.
They sure did.
So I guess you're allowed the 1, right?
Yeah, again, Coach Bertrand using his savvy there. You know, the key player scores a key goal at a key moment. Might as well try for a stick check.
Exactly.
There's no penalty if there isn't any issue with the stick, so why not go for it?
Especially with what you said about bagging out. It's a classic move.
Meanwhile, a hold here. Following the ground ball is going to give it to Bedford. Minute 16 now remaining. Third quarter.
No release, they're yelling, so although they let it go. So meaning there was not possession on that face-off, so the attackmen were not released from the restraining box. They were chirping Will Boyle, who had wandered up towards the midfield line. It was kind of an irrelevant issue, but...
Yeah. But they get Boyle either way and give it to Bedford. Bulldogs now working the clock inside of a minute to go, third quarter. Greer, who's been the facilitator on the attack for Bedford, dancing around behind the net, going to give it over far side for Schmidt.
Got Maniello on the crease now. Different set for them.
Melvin's all over him. Near side, steal, wild shot. Going to fire out of the double team, lost his balance. Schmidt able to back it up. Bedford with it, 30 seconds, third quarter. Up top, shot. Kramer denied by Fritz. Overhand stop, lost it though. Couldn't quite bring it in. And now Bouvier gets to it for Souhegan. Pass drop though.
We're going to get a hold here.
By Lawhorn, and yep, a whistle and a hold on the way.
Yeah, Kramer just got his stick caught in the defenseman's hand and stick area, and the referee threw the dirty laundry on the ground, so Kramer will go to the box and feel shame.
Both teams been heavily penalized in this one. So a 30-second penalty. Final 10 seconds here, third quarter.
Yeah, you got to move the ball here. You can't hold it.
Boyle, near side wing, thinking about it, up top. Nobody wants to shoot, and they won't.
That's a good choice, though. So, interesting lacrosse rule. If there is a penalty situation, the team in possession at the end of the quarter will now start with possession. There will not be a face-off to start the fourth quarter. So, actually, at the end there, Lawhorn made the right play by keeping it in his stick. He's gained possession for the Sabres to start the fourth.
All right, when we come back, start of the fourth quarter. Will Bedford finish the deal, or will Souhegan pull off a comeback and extend their season? We find out next. You're watching quarterfinal coverage of this 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament, presented by Beals Insurance here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Okay.
Or Souhegan.
All right, back here, fourth quarter. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, Corey Munstertiger. It's been all Bedford for the most part. Bulldogs built up an 8-2 lead in the first half. We had a lengthy, nearly 90-minute weather delay due to lightning in the air at halftime. Souhegan comes out with some new purpose in that third quarter to cut the gap to 10-5 and begin here on the tail end of an EMO. They're going to fire a shot. Garant's going to go wide.
Good for Desmond backing that up.
Yeah, both Desmond and Henry, Sean, good effort to get to it for Bedford. So the Bulldogs get the stop. They get the possession.
Cut to the ball here, boys.
And now trying to deal with the Souhegan pressure in their own end against this formidable ride, which has been, to your point, Roger, much more of a factor for Souhegan in the second half. Here's a flag. Kerr went down hard. Senior going to limp off the field. Whistle's going to bring an end to the action with just over 30 seconds gone by in this fourth quarter.
Looked like he took a whack on the leg there. Probably going to be a slash or a trip, but he fell awkwardly as he crossed the 50-yard line, and he's limping around on the sideline over there.
He's played a lot of minutes. Quinlan Kerr, one of those guys on the All-State watch list for Bedford to begin the season, one of their top defenders, and a noticeable hobble as he left the field. So Boyle into the box for Souhegan.
Yeah, just to touch on Kerr again, I've seen him all season. He's really been a strong leader for that defensive unit on the Bedford side. Excellent contributor throughout this campaign.
Also draws a lot of their tougher assignments. Shot up high.
So one of the things we noted so far in the third was Boyle taking the midfield position, and he's already had 2 penalties. So that change alone might be something problematic for the Sabres here.
Yeah, something to note here too, as they were isoing, they were face guarding Maniello again. They were on a 5-person rotation on the offensive end. Nobody rotated behind for the backup, so they give up possession here to the Sabres, and now the Sabres are looking to kill this penalty off.
Instead, they turn it over. Taking on the bounce by Burke. Long outlet pass up the far sideline. It's going to spring McGee. Unchallenged over the 50. Up ahead for Greer. Greer looking to find. Winds a shot. Goes wide. Out of play will stay again with Bedford.
Even strength.
Yep. Boyle hustling back on. Going to match up with Maniello here as Maniello takes over on the near wing. Up top now for Steele. Bedford led by both Maniello and Arbusto. They've combined for 7 goals. Steele has scored 2 of his own. Squirts the ball behind the cage where now Schmidt takes over. These two teams met twice last month in the regular season. Bedford took both games.
Notice that Souhegan is not playing an LSM out there right now. They got a shorty on Maniello. There's an advantage there.
Got caught in substitution pattern.
Right.
2 minutes gone, fourth quarter. Greer lost it for a moment. Able to avoid Melvin, gets it back out. Well, Bedford chewing some clock here on this possession.
And that's exactly what I was just thinking. I looked at Roger and thought about a keep it in call here. If they keep eating up this clock, we might see it, but Steele goes hard to the cage and gets denied.
Yeah, Fritz saw it the whole way. Good save by the senior goaltender. Outlet dribbles near side. Lawhorn finally takes it. Trying to weave his way around Magnus Steele. Steele looking to hit him with a couple of good shots at the shoulder. Lawhorn keeps going, shoots low, and it's denied. Desmond shut down the 5-hole.
Again, low shot, save.
Outlet near side. This is Nick Hadley goes tumbling down at a word for Karpowicz. And now another flag is going to fly after the whistle. So 2 flags, 3, now 4 different pieces of laundry on the field. This one has been physical. It's been chippy at times to neighboring schools, neighboring towns, and rival schools going at it in a tournament game that's a volatile mix for sure.
It's playoffs. You're going to be into it. It's going to be physical. It's going to be chippy. People want to win. They're putting everything they have into it.
Yep.
First play was a trip. Looked like Hadley might have had a little bit of a chirp as he got up from the trip. And then it looked like Boyle came over and chirped a little bit more. So we're going to have all kinds of penalty box situation here.
It's a party in the box. Right now, Karpowicz down on one knee on the Souhegan side.
Locked.
Boyle is over there as well. And Hadley for his role there after the whistle. Looks like he's in the box for Bedford.
It looked like Hadley's got the unnecessary roughness penalty for one. And we've got our friend Boyle with a hold by the looks, and Karpowicz with, I didn't catch that call, but he's obviously in the box as well. Maybe the trip you saw?
I think it was a trip that started everything. So.
Yeah, interesting sequence of events there.
Referee Tyler Leeds is having none of it.
No.
They've been busy, both officials. Both Tyler Leeds and Dennis Mellinson called a number of penalties against both teams in that first half, and that trend seemingly continuing here with now 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
So we have a 5-on-4.
I think we just, light it up.
There it is.
Maniello. Fritz over the head. He's got half a dozen or so saves now for Souhegan. Meanwhile, Davidson ridden in his own end. Another whistle, I think a timeout coming from the Souhegan sideline. First timeout issued either way since halftime.
Again, a smart one. He saw his defenseman in trouble on the clear. He wants to get that in a shorty's hands so they can get out and try to kill off this penalty.
Geez, I think I put it in Riley Lawhorn's hand here. The ball's going to start right in front of the Souhegan bench, and you get him back to X. You get him behind the net. If you're going to lose the ball now, you're going to at least get the hold penalty on Boyle released here. You'll be back to a 5-on-5 with 2 personal fouls on the 2 sides expiring, and you take control when you're back to even strength.
I want to go back to that man-up situation, though. The 5-on-4. If I'm Coach Joe Hansmeyer, I want a better shot than that. That's Maniello. He's a good outside shooter. He had time and space. He can snipe corners, but you have an extra man. You want to get on the doorstep. You want something inside and close. And
You think they settled?
I think they settled. It was a 15-yard shot, and most goalies are going to be able to eat that up.
Now, for all intents and purposes, that's a 30-second penalty, okay? And we've talked about it every single game this season, Nick. 30-second penalties, you got to move the ball, move the corners, get rotations, and if you're not, you might as well just hold the ball and wait, okay?
And that was the key, too. They didn't get the rotations there, right? They stayed in their little box there. The Sabres forced the outside shot, and they got what they were looking for. Fritz made the save, and they're up and out.
Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, Corey Munson-Tiger. It's been a good one. Bedford has led throughout. A commanding 8 8-2 lead at halftime. Then the weather had its own ideas. Nearly a 90-minute lightning delay before we saw action in the third quarter. Souhegan been trying to play catch-up since. They're within 5. They're shorthanded. And the clock's starting to become a factor as we work toward the 8-minute mark. Meanwhile, Lawhorn is knocked down here by Michael. A couple of football players going at it. And another flag. This one has really gotten rough and tumble here as the game has gone on.
So this is a very subtle call, but I agree with it. Lawhorn saw that Enners dropped his stick and then deliberately kicked it as it was on the ground at his feet.
Yep. See the replay there. Kicked it with his left foot.
And that's what drew the flag. A very unusual call, especially since Lawhorn had the ball in his possession.
And that's unsportsman, and he's going to lock it on him, Corey.
Locked in. Locked in.
A little frustration maybe there as well. Lawhorn, he's seen a lot of defensive attention. He's taken a lot of stick checks, body checks. He's been on the ground. Some of that maybe came to the surface on that play, maybe.
Honestly, credit to the official. I saw it, and I had no faith that it would actually be called, but I think it's the right call here.
Party continues over in the box. Lawhorn down. Now Boyle does come back on, but it's too late as Bedford. Nice interior pass, and then Greer able to finish for his second goal.
And that's the kind of shot that I was talking about. If you have those man-up type situations, those are the kinds of looks that you should be getting. Right on the doorstep. Kaliza cross the crease. Greer one-on-one with the goalie. Just a nice, quick little bounce shot past Fritz.
I love Kaliza. This guy, he's a freshman. He comes off the bench. He's in every game I've seen him play this year. He's obviously cold when he gets out there, and he always figures in the scoring.
Yeah.
He's going to be a force.
Great campaign for the freshman. And how about Greer? 6 points, 2 goals, and 4 assists. Kid's lighting it up tonight.
Yeah. Bedford sharing the wealth for sure, spreading it around, getting contributions from up and down the roster. They've taken care of business at the face-off X, and they get one here as well. Owen Roberto been busy. His latest win comes with now 4 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he's earning his paycheck in this game. He's been a force to be reckoned with out there.
Meanwhile, still an ELO opportunity for Bedford as Lawhorn remains in the box. 6-on-5 here. Maniello looking for his fourth goal. A low laser ends up wide. It'll stay here with Bedford.
Yeah, and as that penalty was locked in, despite the goal, Lawhorn stays in the box, so we do go back to the man-up situation.
Yeah. Steal! Shot, score.
That's Arbusto.
Oh, it's Arbusto, you're right. That's number 5.
5th of the game.
For Connor as he snipes one upstairs to make it now 12-5.
And Mr. Greer with the assist.
We've said that before, haven't we, Roger?
Indeed.
Yeah, Greer now with, 5 assists?
5 assists,
to go with 2 goals. Arbusto has led the way with 5 goals. And Bedford has reestablished their largest lead from back in the first half.
How many apples make up a bushel? I mean, is he got a bushel of apples out there with the assists he's racking up today?
I'm not even sure what a bushel is.
Oh, you're from New Hampshire, right? Did you ever go apple picking?
Bushel and a peck or something? Yeah. What the heck? I don't know.
Apple picking is a little too soft of an activity for me. This one kicked and hunted down by Melvin. He's got his eye on the cage. Bouncer. Going to go wide. The long stick defender. Not afraid to pull the trigger there in traffic. He's going to hustle his way back to the other side of the 50. Nearly 5 minutes already gone by, fourth quarter. Souhegan, they're fighting 2 enemies right now. Bedford and the clock. They'll get one here. It's Connor Holland.
That's the strength of Karpovich again. I mean, he's just running through his defender. He got tied up, didn't go back to his offhand, but little scoop pass right to the crease.
Little Canadian.
Little backhander.
Yeah, lefty to a righty crosshand.
Crafty play.
So Holland scores his first goal of the game.
No, I think he's going to, he'll take classes.
And still just over 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Enough time for Souhegan to pull it off, but another stick check here is going to...
Coach Joe Hansmeyer is going back with the same strategy. They're checking, this time it's Connor Holland's stick, and they're hesitating here a little bit. This is not as quick of a stick check as you might imagine.
I think it's a
stick might
deep
be bagging
pocket.
out.
It's bagged out, baby.
No, it's
That's
good.
a good goal.
Calls
All
it good.
So each coach has been unsuccessful in this second half with the stick check challenge.
Little gamesmanship. You got to applaud it.
Second year on the sideline, on the Bedford sideline for Coach Joe Hansmeyer. And, of course, Coach Bertrand been there a while with Souhegan. Here's a face-off win for the Sabres.
Steele was taking that face-off for Bedford.
Karpowicz, split dodge, shot jammed up. And Michael trying to escape the fray for Bedford. Instead, it's Burke who picks it up. Off the bounce, goes back to the cage for Desmond. Bedford trying to deal with this ride. A long pass.
Excellent catch.
Taken on the move by Ashburner. One more for Greer, goes behind him. And out of bounds in that far corner, turned back over to Souhegan.
Just dump it to your attackman. Coolise is right there. Nice, easy pass. You have a 6-goal lead with 6.5 left. Just chill. Give it to your attackman. You don't need to go for that home run ball.
Instead, it's back over to Souhegan. Melvin on the near side being pushed out by McGee. Behind the net now. It's Manning, the freshman. Karpowicz trying to track down a loose ball. He's got Henry Shawn right on his back. They're going to rule it at this end here as we come up on the midway point, fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was still a shot, though. So Karpowicz was kind of A-framing over that ball, and he was, again, closest when it went out, where it went out, so he gets possession.
I'll give you that one.
Good box out there by Karpowicz. All right, Lawhorn. He's been the catalyst in the second half for Souhegan. Wants a one-on-one against Enners. Spin and then lost it. Enners poked it loose. Desmond controls behind his own cage. Back far side for Enners. It's going to go a long pass down the near sideline. Too long. Over the head of Henry Shawn. But then taken by Greer on the bounce. Now Greer going to retreat to that far corner. I think now Bedford wants to run a little bit of clock, right?
Sure. Although they look at Steele.
Yeah, and Steele says, forget that.
And Greer has 6 assists, and Steele has a hat trick.
Wow. I mean, what can you... These guys are still playing. I mean, it's 5:30 on the clock, and they're just still going at it.
Nick, as you're describing that play, I'm thinking in my mind, if I'm Coach Joe Hansmeyer, I might even be taking a timeout here. Just settle in my troops, say, hey, let's make the smart pass. You have a 6-goal lead, but now it's 7. They didn't want to take any air out of it. They're going to keep going.
It was a good shot, too. No real defenders in the area. You might as well.
Just a quick note here, Nick and Corey. It looks like the defender, Quinlan Kerr, took that trip a little while ago. He's on the bench right now, helmet off, ice pack on his ankle.
Yeah.
He might be done for the day.
Yeah, good call, Roger. We saw him exit back in the third quarter with an apparent leg injury. And now it seems as if his day is done.
Senior defenseman Ryan Ashburner has taken his spot in the lineup.
And he's played well, as we've highlighted. Out front, Karpowicz. A little wide. Again, it'll stay with Souhegan. We hit the 5-minute mark here, fourth quarter.
He's a load in there. Tough to handle. He's a big boy. Gets space.
Yeah, that's where I told you during the break at halftime. That's where I think he ought to be.
Sure.
He ought to be at the crease.
Let's watch it here. Inside roll. Draws the double.
Shot. Knocked aside. And again, Desmond able to control the damage. He's quietly starting to put together a real solid effort net for Bedford.
Yeah, he's up to, doesn't seem like a lot, but 6 saves. He's had some pipes early in the first half. He's handled the ball well off target, but yes, he's definitely done his job today, Nick.
Meanwhile, timeout Bedford.
Here we go.
Comes with 4:35 to go in this fourth quarter, and, well, perhaps Coach Joe Hansmeyer listening to your advice, Corey, right? Take a timeout, settle the troops down here, make sure that they're in a position they know how to close out a potential victory, right?
That's the key, the closeout. What are you going to do? Are you going to make the smart play? Or are you going to keep possession? And, hey, you know what? Let's test the referees. Let's see if they're going to call that keep it in. Let's take the little air out of the ball. Make the smart pass, adjacent pass. Let's not extend ourselves too much here. And really try to burn a little time off the clock. You have 7 goals.
You're up by 7 goals here. The minute you start going behind goal line extended, that's where you're going to see the refs start to internally make that decision, because it's totally arbitrary at their discretion. If you keep the ball out front and you play perimeter and you use X as just an outlet to keep the ball moving, you're going to be better off. But if you're out front and you're at least keeping the ball in action, you'll be better off.
And on the flip side here, if I'm Coach Bertrand, as soon as that ball goes behind, I'm trying to double. I'm pulling the goalie on the closest attackman. I'm getting 2 defensemen to go right to that ball, double team as quickly as possible.
No, we saw 10-man rides working in the NCAA Division I championship. When Maryland got a little bit behind, they started going 10-man, and they caused some turnovers, and obviously that game got very close very fast.
Yeah, Virginia held on for their 2nd straight national championship in the end.
The Sabres are going to need some heroics. You can get those heroics out of pressure situations. So look, right here, this is where I'd be double teaming, bringing my goalie out behind.
Instead, they leave Melvin as the only defender. Kaliza on a spin move. Kaliza, a power finish, is going to cash in the freshman. Going to wave it off.
Crease, yep.
Stepped in the crease.
That was a great inside roll by Kuliza. Got some time and space in there.
Let's take a look here at the replay. The freshman really towing the line, and seemed like he was inside that blue area.
Honestly, it looked like that goal went in before he landed in the crease. I don't know.
I agree with you.
Tough call.
Either way, Bedford's going to find another shot. Enners goes off the pole.
We got flags all over again.
He got popped after the shot. The official's going to stop this one with inside of 4 minutes. Again, it's been a very physical, chippy playoff game here, and we see more of that extracurricular stuff there after the shot. Took a shot upstairs.
Cross check to the face.
Melvin made him pay.
Unnecessary roughness is the call there.
Yeah, that's the right call. I mean, you can't cross check somebody right in the face. They usually will throw a flag on that one.
Bedford looking for their 2nd EMO goal. I'd say we've seen a few of those really brutal hits. That one maybe at the top of the list. Greer. Little acrobatic shot there, looking for goal number 3. He's had quite the day with 5 assists to go with those 2 goals.
Guys, that's Souhegan's 8th penalty of the game.
Wow. I think that's the most we've seen, Roger, all year.
Yeah.
By one team. How many for Bedford?
I got 3 for Bedford.
What were you saying at the top of the broadcast? Stay out of the box.
Yeah, you're right. Souhegan has fought.
There you go,
tried to fight their penalty difficulties. Good save, good outlet. Garant on the move. Inside of 3 minutes, but again a turnover. Henry Shawn able to lean out with that long pole. Now Desmond trying to reel this one back into the safety zone. Goaltender's outlet pass handled by Ashburner. Short pass trying to free up Schmidt. Tried to split dodge too. Not Schmidt, rather, but Hadley. Coughed it up out of bounds. Souhegan a quick restart with Lawhorn. Poke loose from behind, stolen by Greer.
Kids all over the place tonight.
Making a defensive play there, the junior. Also with pretty high lacrosse IQ. Knows not to force it here, trying to work that clock as much as he can. Heading down to 2 minutes now. Kaliza, top shelf.
Whistle blew first, though.
Going to negate the shot. The freshman paid the price, took a shot upstairs. Pretty good hit put on by the defender, Davidson. Another Souhegan. Right? Yeah, I think that was a turnover, right?
A quick restart, and they threw it right to Maniello.
Exactly. So, quick question for you, Corey. You've done a lot of Bedford games this year. Why has Toscano not been playing in this game? He had been a force all season long, and I think this is maybe his 3rd shift out there.
Good question. I think we've seen a lot of I'm looking at the action here. We've seen a lot of the first line midfield out there. Toscano started on that first line midfield to start the season, so it has been an interesting absence on his part for the most part of this game.
You're talking about the sophomore, Sean Toscano, part of that Toscano athletic family that's come through here in waves the last few years at Bedford.
His mom and dad and older brother Ryan are sitting in the crowd right down here to the left.
Yep.
Ryan, a football player at UNH at this point in time.
Yeah, Father Paul, of course, great three-point shooter.
Nice
down at Stonehill.
I wouldn't say great. Come on, it's a little excessive.
I'm just going to leave that out there.
There it is.
I'll let him address that.
No, I'm very close friends with Paul. He's a very good man.
Near side shot. Some of the backups guys getting a little bit of run here now. Shea Lucatoni, seen him contribute, of course, this season, but it's his first action here in this game with now a minute 25 and counting remaining.
Now, gentlemen, we got to talking there for a while, but on that flag, it looked like Manning came out of the box on that unsportsmanlike and went right back in it. So he had 2 back-to-back penalties there.
Yeah, it's been a party over there. Melvin is in the box, the long pole right now. He's gone hard. The last couple of games, played well in the win over Concord. Played well again today, but it's not going to be enough. We're down to 1 minute. Bedford looking to punch their ticket to the Final Four with one more and then another hit after the whistle. This time it was Bouvier who laid out Lucatoni, who's going to get credit for the goal to make it 14-6 Bedford. See, again, the shot after the shot. The hit after the ball was released.
See, I don't mind the hit. The hit actually the timing was actually very close. The problem was he got too high. Came right up in his grill, and you're going to go in the sin bin every time for that.
Yeah, I can't remember a game that I either played in, coached, or broadcast that I saw as many locked-in penalties on one team as I've seen tonight.
Been a lot tonight.
That, by my count, is 4 locked penalties on Souhegan.
And 9 total, right?
9 total.
So the Souhegan fans not happy.
Actually, I take that back. That's 10. That's 10, counting number 37's back-to-back.
Yeah, Melvin.
So no face-off here. That's considered a dead ball foul. And Bedford gets awarded the ball.
Because it was after the goal.
After the goal.
Yep.
I think you just killed it here, Corey, don't you?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right? It's a minute locked in. You go to the corner. You play armadillo. Bury it.
Down to 30 seconds.
Yeah, you turtle at this point.
Yeah.
No reason to go to the goal.
Lucatoni.
Anything more than that is just creating bad blood, ill will down the road. These teams will see each other again next season.
Been a hard fight this afternoon. Souhegan, after a 2-9 regular season, found themselves in a preliminary round battle with Concord. They eliminated the Crimson in Amherst back on Thursday, but really trailed from the get-go here this afternoon as Bedford, in the end, going to come away with what looks like a 14-6 victory in this quarterfinal round. They will take on the Bishop Girton Cardinals, the undefeated BG Cardinals, in the semifinals on Tuesday. So there it is. The horn sounds, and Bedford finally getting a chance to celebrate here as they'll live to fight another day. 14-6 ends up being the final score.
I'm sorry to stomp on you there, but very appropriate that Derek Greer ended the game with the ball in his stick. Player of the game right there. 2 goals, 6 assists, lit up the score sheet. Couple of defensive plays on the ride, too. Excellent effort there by the junior attackman.
Yeah, I can't say enough about that combination. He was dialed in today. Maniello had his moment in the sun in the first half, and Greer and Roberto. I think Roberto just did some heavy lifting at the X, and Arbusto, he follows up with 5 goals. And like I said, he was ready to go. This team was ready to go tonight.
All right, we'll step aside, come back, get you the full recap, including statistics from this one. A final look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well. The Final Four is set in Division I. We'll preview that. Plus our upcoming Division I girls semifinal between Bedford and BG. All that in just a moment. You are watching coverage of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament. right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today.
Bedford takes care of business on their home field. 14-6, the final score over Souhegan. The Bulldogs led wire to wire and head back to the Final Four for the first time under head coach Matt Johansmeyer. Connor Augusto led the way, 5 goals. He got the party started inside the first minute to put Bedford on the board first. 1-0. Will Greer ends up with 2 goals and 6 assists. He scored goal number 2. To give the Bulldogs a 2-0 lead. That was about midway through the first quarter. Alex Karpowicz scored both first half goals for Souhegan. He got the visitors on the board at 2-1 with inside of 5 minutes to go in that first quarter. Then Bedford, led by Magnus Steele, 2 more from Arbusto, ended the frame on a 3-0 run and led 5-1 after 1. Max Maniello, he decided to put on his own show at the beginning of the second quarter. Scores 3 unanswered for Bedford. They stretched their unanswered goal mark to 6 straight, and at that time held their largest lead of 8-1. Inside the final minute, Alex Karpowicz capitalized on a Souhegan EMO to give the visitors a little something to build on at the break, but still a big Bedford lead at halftime of 8-2. Then the weather struck. Lightning and weather delays for nearly 90 minutes at halftime brought us eventually to the third quarter, and Souhegan seemingly played with a renewed sense and a renewed urgency. Anthony Garant scored just about 2 minutes in, brings Souhegan within 5 at 8-3. Magnus Steele got another for Bedford to make it 9-3. Then 2 back-to-back goals by Riley Lawhorn brought Souhegan the closest they would come at 9-5. Another Arbusto goal finished the third quarter on a high note for Bedford with the Bulldogs in front 10-5. 2 more Bulldog goals, both on the EMO from Greer and Arbusto, pushed the home team's lead to 12-5. Connor Holland gave Souhegan a glimpse of hope there at 12-6 with about 5 minutes gone by, scored his only goal of the game. But then it's Steele and then backup Shea, Luke, and Tony closed the door as Bedford survives and advances by a final score, Roger, of 14-6.
Yeah, we talked about at the beginning of this game what Bedford needed to do to capitalize and come out ahead on this game. And looking back at the Concord game that Souhegan played a couple of days ago, their goal-scoring tally was Riley Lawhorn 4, Karpovich with 3, and Connor Holland with 1. So they had 8 of the 15 goals. And then when you throw in Manning with a hat trick, okay, they had a majority. Those 4 players were the offensive threat for Souhegan.
Back on Thursday.
Yep. Tonight, Riley Lawhorn was limited to 2 goals, Karpowicz with 2 goals, and Garant, the face-off specialist, he got an outlier goal.
Right.
And really, that was it. So Bedford did what they needed to do. They shut down the offensive threat of the Sabres completely, and then I'll let my partner turn over to the defensive side because there's a lot to say there.
Yeah, the Bulldogs defense really stepped up tonight. They did very well, as you talked about, on the key players for the Sabres. And I honestly have to say a big part of this was the 9 penalties for the Sabres they were spending a lot of time in the box, a lot of time playing man down. And it's tough to score goals when you're man down.
Earlier today, BG, the lone unbeaten team in Division I on the boys' side, they advanced to the semifinals with an 18-4 win over Nashua South. They will host Bedford on Tuesday. On the other side of the D1 semifinal, it'll be defending champion Pinkerton via a 9-4 win over Londonderry this afternoon. They'll be in Exeter to take on the Exeter Blue Hawks. Don't see that final, but it was lopsided. They beat Dover this afternoon in the quarters. And the Final Four is set in Division II as well. Wins for Derryfield and Portsmouth. They will meet in the semifinals next week. Kingswood remains unbeaten. Timberlane, after they knock off Hollis Brookline, will face Kingswood in the semis. All right, guys, your final thoughts on what we saw here this afternoon. Again, a Bedford win of 14-6 over Souhegan.
Weather could have been a huge issue at halftime. It obviously was. The teams came out ready for a momentum change, and it didn't really happen. Bedford came back out ready to play, capitalized on some opportunities, took advantage of some man-up opportunities, and pulled it out.
Yeah, I would agree. And the penalties, although Bedford only had 2 EMO goals today, you can't spend the fourth quarter in the box when you're playing from behind in that particular situation, especially after the long delay of almost 90 minutes. That's just not a good combination for any team, any sport.
Want to thank our new friend,
Yeah.
Mr. Munster Tiger, for coming on down. We enjoy it, prying you off the lake here. And we appreciate the analysis here in this one. Good job, my friend.
Appreciate the invite, fellas.
For sure. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Also want to thank Corey Parker, the athletic director here at Bedford, a man doing a juggling act, dealing with a weather delay, the media, the baseball game going on. He was all over the map, but as usual, had everything under control.
I think being a Bedford resident, Corey's a Bedford resident, I think we need to vote for Corey to get a raise in pay next school board meeting. He has been everywhere. He was here this morning during graduation.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Want to thank our cameraman as well, John Barron, upstairs in the Crow's Nest, doing a great job. Our director back in the Beals Insurance Studio is Ben Beals. And, of course, the executive producer, the big man in the big chair, is Steve Beals. My name, Nick Anastas. For Roger Howe, we say so long. Final score, final time. Bedford 14, Souhegan 6. This has been a presentation of the 2021 NHIAA Boys Lacrosse Division I Tournament right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance.